Bat music. The bat is not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Hello and welcome once again to Bat Minute Returns, the show that would offer you a coffee to go alongside your listen, but the temp is currently off. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
Yeah, that's that intern Jerry Porter. He's been friggin' slacking off with those Indiana Jones guys all these years now. Yeah, I am the other host, Niall McGowan.
Yes, and we are joined once more, one last time this week, by our very, very special guests.
Oh, that's us. That's us. Klingon.
Oh,
yeah.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Oh, greetings and salutations, people. My name is Klingon Vanna White, and I am a co-host on SpeakEasily.tv. Oh, and I'm joined by one of my co-hosts.
That would be me. I'm Odessa Lil,
Oh, yes.
your mistress of ceremonies on a different show. I'm just a guest here right now. But it's good to be here. Sure is good to be here.
Isn't it the best way, being a guest, though? Because you don't have to do any work.
No, I don't have to clean up or anything. Usually I'm just cleaning for days after our podcast.
Wait a minute. Am I stoned? Did I just say that we were on a different show?
Welcome to Speakeasily. Oh, wait.
Wait, hello?
we could do that show instead. Let's do it.
Oh, totally. Okay. What are we talking about?
Not
today?
advisable.
We don't have a snack to review.
Yeah, we didn't. But we do have so we review a movie and then a snack.
Is the snack to go with the movie?
No, it's an
Like,
unrelated
is it
snack.
themed? Ah, okay.
It's just a
Because
snack.
Niall knows this about me. I have a big habit of I'll get into a show or a movie or something, and I'll have to match my drink to it. So I was watching Deadwood, so I bought loads of rye whiskey. Like I was just sat with rye and having it neat and watching Deadwood.
And every time they said
And,
sucker,
like-
you took a drink.
So I was completely legless after about 2 seconds because every other word in that damn show.
Yeah, that's John doesn't know any of the plot lines of Deadwood. He got too drunk too quickly watching it.
I do it all the time. Everything. Even like Game of Thrones. I'm like, well, what would they in this world drink? I'm like, well, they'd have either like a beer or a mead.
Yeah.
So I get a mead in and I make that. That's good.
Then,
So yes, this is minute 45 of Bat Minute Returns. And the minute starts with a ferocious roar. And it ends with Bruce and Shrek going head to head.
just like, just kind of ends with some chit chat. Like it's
They're a rather calm scene.
You've got to make it sound exciting.
yeah. Oh, that's the thing. This minute is like, oh, it's all go at the beginning. Like, the first 15 seconds are like, oh my god, and then the rest of it is just like, yeah. It's just, just
basically.
calm down after all that excitement, you know.
Well, there isn't a literal ferocious roar, but we are back here with Selena grabbing the woman's face. She's rescued her, and she reveals her new name.
Oh, that's right, yeah. And it's done in a, I am Catwoman, hear me roar. Which was the thing, like, in the early stages of this, the sequel project coming together. Because we did, in the last season, we opened with me and John going like, oh, what are you? We're Batman at 89. And I was thinking, oh, we should try to do We're Batman at Hear Us Roar. But it was like, oh, that's too many words, man. We would never be able to sync that up. That would have been crazy.
I don't understand why she didn't roar though.
Yeah, she could, after she said it, could have gone,
Well, she's like,
She should have been like,
Mm.
I am Catwoman, hear me roar.
that's my cat.
It could be there's like a bunch of takes of Michelle Pfeiffer doing that, and after a while, everyone was just like, nah, this ain't working, man. No.
She's like a psycho kitty Helen Reddy right here. And, and Helen Reddy does I'm Woman, Hear Me Roar. That song doesn't end with like, rawr!
It should just end with like a whole minute of.
That's what it not even end though. It's just like, I am woman, hear me roar. 3 minutes of that.
Actually, that's how the drag queen I always get. People say I look like Niall, Sasha Velour.
Nice.
That's how they entered RuPaul's Drag Race. They just walked in and went, ah!
But there's no Helen Reddy element. It's like, oh, you missed a trick, man.
I was just gonna say, what if she had just shrieked in that woman's face?
Oh
Hear
my
me
god, that
roar.
would have been
And then just
amazing.
did the
I'd have loved that.
backflips. I would have loved it.
I did do a little bit of like a preliminary look into the song "I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar" to see if it threw up anything, and there's not much really, to be fair. So like, yeah, it was a hit song by Helen Reddy, but the thing is, that seems to be like a very U.S. centric song because I never heard that growing up.
Really?
And I looked into it, and apparently in the charts, it charted like #1 in America and in Canada, and nowhere else. It just didn't seem to get a release or something. I don't know what happened.
Because no, your women haven't been liberated yet.
Yeah, that's the sign, isn't it? If you've got that.
But the thing is, I predominantly know the song from that one episode of The Simpsons, where like, and I remember the joke confused the hell out of me when I was a kid as well. I just didn't know what they were going for. Now I just know they were just being weird. But it has like, yeah, Bart waiting for Homer to pick him up, and he just like looks off in the distance, and he's like, "That could be Dad." Station wagon, luggage rack, and it cuts to a woman it's just Homer with blonde hair, and she's just going like, "I am woman, hear me roar, and numbers too big to ignore," and it just drives past him. And I remember as a kid being like, "Was that Homer? Like what the f- was that?" And now it's just like, no, it was just a random woman who just looks identical to Homer Simpson. With the beard stubble and everything.
It's Bizarro Homer.
Yeah, but as a kid, because I knew this reference and I knew that, and then years later, I found out like, oh no, there was a song called "I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar." Like, oh, now it makes sense.
If you were perhaps 10 years older, 20 years older, you would remember it from your childhood. Like some of us here.
I have no idea what you're speaking of. Tessa.
It's refreshing.
Me neither.
It's refreshing us not being the more senior people.
Hey.
Often we are the most seasoned. When we have on like, our good friends, guests, Dale,
Yeah.
Omar, etc. They're always, I forget, they're quite a bit younger than us, and it upsets me.
I think it's quite.
Children.
The thing is now, like, oh, they're kids, but they're like 26. I'm that old now that I think like 26. Like, oh, they're young. They don't know anything. I will say actually, this close-up of her though, I never noticed this until looking at minute by minute, that you can see the whip is wrapped around her. Like she's got the whip on her already. That thing that looks a bit like a kind of H.R. Geiger-esque alien, biomechanical vein or something. That's the whip wrapped around her body. I was like, I never noticed that they had it on her the whole time before.
Oh my god, I want to see his. I know he's dead, but I want to see his interpretation of Catwoman.
Oh, that'd be cool, actually. Yeah, it's like Geiger,
Oh my God.
get back to work, get out of that grave.
So lazy.
How dare he?
And also, as well, I didn't bring in last minute because I thought, like, oh, we did the mugger last minute. But this woman, who is, of course, the victim here, she's not apparently related to David Duchovny that I could find. But her name is Joanne Giammarco. And the thing is, she's not actually... She is an actress, kind of. Like, she's been in a few things. But she's mostly a sound department person. She has a very, very prolific career working in sound in movies. Because she worked on Pretty in Pink, Say Anything, Dick Tracy. That's one for Dan Campling. Super Bat fan Dan Campling, who's working on the Dick Tracy Minute. Dan, this woman worked on the sound for Dick Tracy. She also did the sound for the Lindsay Lohan, The Parent Trap, the Lizzie McGuire movie. And then her final movie seemed to be a thing with Danny Dyer called Severance in 2006. And then she just sort of disappeared. Although she also did as well the fantastically named Nice Girls Don't Explode, which is it's weird though because like I've seen that movie. Like I
Wow.
used to have a thing because it stars Michelle Mayrink, who most people might remember as Jordan, the girl from Real Genius, who was like a real quirky, weird kind of character. And I loved Jordan as a character when I was a teenager. So anything Michelle Mayrink popped up in, I would watch it and then be disappointed, but like she's not just playing the same character over and over again. But, so as a recommendation, Nice Girls Don't Explode wasn't that great, but Real Genius, starring Val Kilmer, future Batman, Val Kilmer. That is a great movie.
Ooh, there you
should
go.
really look that up if you've not seen it before.
I have not.
Yeah, but beyond that, their acting stuff was. She was in Singles, Cameron Crowe's movie Singles, and she was in a movie with Bob Hoskins called The Good Pope, and that was a bunch of other crap. Then there's nothing really of note that she's been in, but
I prefer the evil Pope.
Oh, I remember her from Real Genius. I had to look it up to remember this. But yeah, she had the cool haircut. She had like the Louise Brooks haircut.
and she was just, her whole thing was just
super cool.
I'm pretty sure the only thing with Real Genius is that because it's about that kid who gets brought into college way in advance because he's that clever, and she becomes his love interest. But it seems to be implications like he's about 14, and she's and she's easily about 21 or something. So it's kind of it does seem very, very strange if you look at it that way. But when I was a teenager, I didn't care. So
well, you wanted to be in that position. That's why.
She was a great character.
But that reminds me of This Is England.
Oh yeah,
because I love that movie. If anyone's seen it, if anyone hasn't seen it, who's listening, it's about like skinhead revival kids in the 80s, and they they're in it for the fashion and the music. They think it's cool, and then this old skinhead comes to hang out with them. He was just got out of jail, and then he turns out he's a crazy psycho racist, and it upends their whole lives. But the point is, there's a bit with the main character. What's his name in it? Sean. He kisses a much older girl. He's 13. How old's she? 18? It's a bit uncomfortable, and then. She also implies that basically he's going to... I have to be relatively PG. He's going to do stuff to her top half.
Okay.
Let's be polite. He's going to have a play around.
Yeah. The thing is, too, is like it's the most UK-based names as well, because he's Sean, and then her nickname is just Smell. It's like, that's the caliber of nickname you get over here.
Yeah, Smell.
We used to have like nicknames in our school. We had a guy just called It Mackay. This is his name. Everyone just called him It. And we had a Smell as well. There was a guy, Smell Kelly. He was just, yep. And of course, then you get into the clever ones where it's like, if someone was very tall, they were called Shorty and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Of course.
Everyone's known as Shorty. Yeah.
The ironic names.
Our names are either ironic or just usually insulting or disgusting. We're horrible people.
Oh, it's all in fun,
nation.
though. That's all. It's like, if it's between friends, it's okay, and people understand it's not a genuine insult and stuff. But
I like the way there was a period of time I was known as Big Bad John.
that's right.
Really?
I know. I don't know what prompted it.
I think I remember that too. I don't remember what prompted it either, but it worked. It worked at the time.
Speaking of names, though, I hate that Catwoman names herself. I prefer it when it's like, oh, the newspapers have named them, because you wouldn't call yourself that. But the "Hear Me Roar" part, I love that. So that rescues the line for me and makes me love it. I don't care that she does it herself. Whatever.
Yeah, she's got a lot of moxie. But I think also what might be happening here is that she's caught like toxoplasmosis from those cats. And so she's got a bit of a like brain damage thing happening, and she's not entirely in charge of her faculties. So we can say that the cats named her.
Oh yeah, maybe they did. Because they're not. Cats are smart, but they're still cats, so they haven't got that much of a vocabulary. So they.
Cat person? No. Cat
lady? Cat lady?
Cat lady?
I will say,
woman.
That'll do.
Although now she's, as we tend to do on the show, now she's named herself. She's identified herself as Catwoman. We can finally talk properly about Catwoman. Has been like, oh, because we did all the start of the last movie. It's like you can't bring up the Joker until the Joker shows up on screen, even though he's Jack Napier. It's like no, you can't talk about the Joker yet. And we've been dodging around this whole movie. It's like that's Selena Kyle. That ain't Catwoman. They have to. But now she is. We can say that Catwoman debuted in Batman #1 in June 1940, where she actually was originally just called the Cat. She appeared as a jewel thief, just called the Cat. Didn't get called Catwoman until many years later. She was created by Bob Kane, and Bill Finger. And there's a lengthy quote from Bob Kane. This is a bit like, ooh. Because he says for using cat imagery with the character, he said he saw cats as the antithesis of bats. And Bob Kane said, I felt that women were feline creatures and men were more like dogs. While dogs are faithful and friendly, cats are cool, detached, and unreliable. I felt much warmer with dogs around me. Cats are as hard to understand as women are. Men feel more sure of themselves with a male friend than a woman. You always need to keep women at arm's length. We don't want anyone taking over our souls, and women have a habit of doing that. So there's a love-resentment thing with women. I guess women will feel that I'm being chauvinistic to women.
Yes.
But to speak this way, but I do feel that I've had better relationships with male friends than women. With women, once the romance is over, somehow they never remain my friends. I wonder why, Bob. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, really. We've just learned a lot about him.
Oh.
It sounds like he's repressing something though.
Yeah, Mr. Finger, I think you need to go somewhere and have a talk.
Oh, we've had a lot of problems
Yeah.
with because Bob Kane he's always the credited creator of Batman, but we've found out doing the show that Bill Finger did pretty much everything, and Bob Kane just got all the glory. So finding out that he's also an asshole in this regard, it's like that's Bob Kane, people. There he is.
Oh, so it was Bob Kane that said that?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
I thought it was Bill Finger too. I lose track of who's doing what.
I thought it was Mr. Hand.
But the actual appearance of Catwoman, her initial look apparently was based on Jean Harlow, who was a big star from the 1930s who died at age 26, which I was like, I never knew that. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know Jean Harlow died that young. And also based on Kane's cousin Ruth Steele, and it's
what a name.
It's also kind of weird as well because Jean Harlow was known as she was infamous for platinum blonde. And yet they gave Catwoman dark hair in the comics for years until it became Catwoman's blonde now because it's Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh. And then now they've kind of gone back and forth. And she's blonde, she's black hair, she's blonde, she's black hair and stuff. But it's so weird that I'm like, we based it on Jean Harlow, except the thing that everyone remembers about Jean Harlow, the fact she had blonde hair.
She also had a very slinky body, I think is probably what he was modeling the body on. This kind of long, skinny limbs.
Yeah, well, Kane also said he felt that she personified feminine pulchritude, which is...
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
Although she was very skinny. She was very thin.
It's just kind of now every time Bob Kane has a quote, it's like, oh god, what's he going to say now? what is it, Bob?
What's up with this asshole?
Whoa. I just looked at a photo of her body, and it's quite something.
I don't think I've seen it. Oh, I'll have to look that up. Yeah. Oh,
everybody,
whoa, okay.
Look it up.
We have to stop the podcast.
I know.
She really knew how to hang a dress off herself,
Yeah. We'll post pictures in the group on Facebook.
All right.
Yeah.
But is that the end of your
Yep, that's what
info there now? I didn't want to move on unless you were done there. So because what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Catwoman. Then she backflips away, which it's incredible. It blew my mind. I'll be honest. It's insane backflipping going on. So I decided, I'll look up who are the stunt doubles for her. So I did. There's a couple of stunt doubles who come in for different things, but the fighting stunt double, who is the main one and backflipper. No, sorry, let me redo that. The fighting stunt double is someone called Kathy Long, who I can get into later. The main stunt double and backflipper is Patricia M. Peters, who also did teach Michelle how to fight as well as Kathy. So she did a little bit of that. But Patricia was hired also to work on Halloween 4. Yeah, I like Halloween 4. I don't like any of the ones after that, really.
Did she teach Busta Rhymes how to backflip at any point?
Yep, Halloween Resurrection, Busta Rhymes and his backflipping. Hook, Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah.
Casper. What? I don't know what stunts are in Casper. I don't remember that, but okay. And there's one I love here. Barbed Wire.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
Barbed Wire.
I do too. Also,
Oh, it's ridiculous, insane camp classic. Barbed Wire.
Oh, damn.
so
Infamous,
delightfully trashy.
infamous Casablanca remake, Barbed Wire.
It is actually a Casablanca
it's
remake,
it's
which
the
is
same
insane.
exact plotline as Casablanca. It's weird.
God.
She also, there's a couple more. There's Mars Attacks,
Yeah.
so that links to Tim Burton, of course.
Yeah.
What Lies Beneath.
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer again,
And
though. So.
yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. And Deadwood,
Hey.
which we've mentioned. Yeah.
Oh,
I do have to question though. How long is Catwoman backflipping here? Because it's just like she backflips all the way home. At what point did she stop
Yes.
backflipping? Because it's kind of like it's already kind of going on a little bit too long.
There's no such thing as too long when it comes to backflipping.
It's kind of like we need to
Yeah.
give her a cool way out, like Batman had, but he just got to jump off a roof and disappear. But this is like she's very visibly just backflipping down an entire alleyway. So,
well, it kind of stops before she gets to the narrow part of the alleyway. So they cut away because they were like, we're not making this woman backflip down an alleyway that barely her shoulders can get through.
just imagine her though, like turning corners while still backflipping, and then just still going down. People walking around doing their shop, and just Catwoman coming in to pick up a few things, backflipping into the shop and stuff.
I imagine that she would backflip like a third of the way down the alleyway and then just stop and then just walk the rest of the way. She's like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Gets a cab.
Are they looking? They're not looking. Okay, I'm gonna walk.
My dramatic exit is over.
I've always wondered that, like, because it seems to imply that this is now her main mode of transportation. Her main means is just, I'm just going to backflip
I think
everywhere.
later on she's talking to Bruce Wayne, just adds Selena Kyle, and she's like, well, I'll see you later, Bruce, and just starts backflipping away.
That'd be great, and it gives him like a clue. Like, hang
He's
on a
standing
minute.
staring at her like, this seems a bit weird.
I mean, if you could do that, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I would do
Every
it
possible
all the
chance.
time.
Yeah.
I've seen
wouldn't get old.
my niece though, because she's like 8 now, and she's all into like gymnastics and all that stuff. And the amount of times I've had to watch her somersault, where she's like, no, look, watch this, and you're like, it's the same thing every time, kid. It's like, you want to be supportive, you have to put on a good face, but it is internally you're like,
Look.
I'm trying to watch The Simpsons, kid, you don't understand.
She doesn't understand how important The Simpsons is to us.
That's just like,
That's the
I've
thing.
seen your somersault today 7 times already. I don't need to see this again.
My niece is the same.
I had a friend bring three of her children into the house last week, and 2 of them are in gymnastics. So they were like
Oh,
gymnasticking everywhere. And all I was thinking is like, this place is not childproof. I have too much glass. in my
Yeah, all those collectibles.
I was just like, I mean, they're doing weird cartwheels and stuff. I'm just like, oh my God. And I swear parents just aren't concerned. Like that their kid's gonna hurt themselves or whatever. I'm just like, well, like rule number 1 in my house is like no maiming and dying.
Hey, kids have to hurt themselves,
Yeah,
That's
I guess
the
it's
only
part
way to
of it.
learn.
I would have thought, though, in the Klingon homeworld, maiming and dying would have been encouraged when she went to somebody's house, really.
But now that I'm on Earth, I just don't want to have to like think about it, especially those like sweet little smooth-skinned like Earth babies.
You don't want all the legal trouble. I mean,
I know. It's like no reference for it.
But I know you guys, though, earlier, you were stunned at seeing Gotham Plaza. Well, good luck, because we're back in Gotham Plaza now. We cut through the same damn...
Hey, this looks familiar.
No, this would have been great if Bruce Wayne wandered one street over and it was also just the Monarch Theater again. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is a small city.
It is.
It's a walking town.
Yeah.
I mean, Liverpool is where we are, but Jesus Christ, not like this.
Do you have a big town square like that?
There's a big centre, but it's all walkable. Like, you can walk from one end to the other pretty easy. Whereas I went to Manchester recently, and that was hell. I loved it, but to get around, I don't understand how anyone learns the city. It's insane.
We do get a little brief flash here of previous guest Polly Preston's ilk with the Christmas elves in the background there. There's a Polly Preston, famed Christmas elf. So I wonder what she would have made of these minutes. Could she have critiqued their brushing style, or what would have...
Much like people critiqued the sweeping in Twin Peaks: The Return.
That was like David Lynch watched this scene. He's like, that was the best part of the movie. I just wanted more of those guys sweeping under the Christmas tree.
They're so sad.
I'm a big fan of the sweeping.
The thing is, though, because the Return had so many bits in it like that. So when after the first 10 seconds of the guy sweeping, I was like, oh, I get this. We're gonna be here a while. Like, this ain't gonna end anytime soon. So we're like, right, strap in. Nope. Watching this guy sweeping now.
Oh, but then after this sweeping, we get one of my favorite things again in the whole movie, because Bruce, he arrives for his meeting with Shrek. All right, and then Maxie walks in wearing the most amazing, the most incredible, the most beautiful suit I have ever bloody seen. He looks insane. He looks wondrous.
This is a guy now. Now the Joker is dead. He is officially taking the title of best dressed man in Gotham. He's like, the hell with that guy. It's me. It's all me now. But this is like, if I was walking, I'll be like, I'm taking this suit home. This is incredible.
Hell yeah. I just want to turn up to work in this and just confuse everybody. What's going on? Am I suddenly in a 30s gangster scenario?
It's your Shrek cosplay.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I really want a wig of that hair he's got on.
The thing is, though, he kind of, because of this suit, he kind of looks like this is potentially what Beetlejuice wore when he was alive or something.
Oh.
So it's kind of like the actual Beetlejuice is behind the living version of Beetlejuice. And we found out then that, like, no, Batman Returns was a prequel. And Beetlejuice actually died because he was electrocuted. Which would explain why his hair is all frazzled and stuff, I guess.
Yeah! Oh my god. Why does he suddenly become like a kind of... I don't want to say like a hick. I'm not really sure what you'd call him. Like,
he's a hick.
Yeah.
He's a very overtly sleazy pervert in that movie too, which is weird because they made like a kid's cartoon to go with it. I was like, I don't think you guys understand the character of Beetlejuice. He's not the hero of the movie. But it could be like, well, maybe because this is all a front for Shrek. He's just like, no, once I'm dead, I got nothing to worry about. It's all coming out, baby. He just turns into a completely different kind of guy.
This is all a character he's doing. This is his cosplay right now.
That's why he's got that weird walking way of talking, because it's all an affection. Where he's just like
walking and talking.
Oh, yeah.
Why is he wearing gloves inside his office?
We've talked about the gloves, I think, because everyone who sees him is just like, what the hell's the deal with the gloves? Apparently, it's because Max Shrek never gets his hands dirty, so he wears gloves all the time.
Yeah, but we have a hypothesis. We have a theory, shall I say? Because in one of the original drafts, or a few of the original drafts, he actually ends up, he's the Penguin's brother.
Oh gosh, you're right.
It turns out he's his brother. So my theory is that he actually has deformed hands under the gloves. But that isn't actually in the film. That's just something I've decided is true. So he's got deformed hands too, because there's a bit coming up where you see the Penguin, they're implying they can give him fake hands. Like, because he's gonna run for office, spoiler alert. And they think that hands will test better with the voters than flippers. That is
probably
almost
true.
Yeah. I don't know, actually. I think, as an animal lover, I think I'd rather vote the flipper. I want an animal in office. It can't be any worse than what... what's going on in the world in most countries' politics right now.
The thing is, though, with the Penguin, though, you're getting the worst of both, though, because he's all his animal tendencies, but then he's also like the worst of humanity as well. So I would just not vote Cobblepot at all.
I don't know if that's really a flipper. Flippers don't have index fingers.
Yeah, true. I mean, what would you say?
Maybe that was a cut scene from that minute where like he's all held up the shiny flipper, and the aggressive reporter's like, Mr. Cobblepot, that's not actually a flipper you've got because you've got an index finger.
It's a claw.
No, as we established, he's just trying to rock the shocker.
Yeah, it's a reverse shocker.
God.
I worked in a nice little Peaches reference.
But yeah, we get the Shrek coming in here and mentioning like, you would get him coffee, but his assistant is using her vacation time, which is
lazy. Make it yourself.
There was a scene earlier that morning where like Shrek and Chip tried to make the coffee themselves, and they're just like all the burn marks on their arms and stuff,
with hilarious consequences.
Right.
You just see in the corners there's like an entire sack of like coffee beans spilled over the floor and stuff. I was like, yeah.
Hey, to be honest, it is two men. We are pretty useless at this kind of thing.
When I attempt to murder people, I always say they went on vacation.
The thing is, too, is like it would be just don't mention it. Just be like, well, don't bring it up. Because as soon as you mention it, it becomes a thing.
And now he wants coffee. He'd be perfectly fine without it.
In that entire building as well, Shrek would have other people to be like, okay, Selena's not here today.
Yeah.
Other new secretary, you're here now. Like literally, it would take him 2 seconds to get someone else to make his coffee for him. But
don't you just ring for a temp?
Yeah,
it's too complex.
I used to temp. That's what happened to me. Like I'd get a call that morning, like, "Can you come here?" I'm like, okay, I guess.
He probably can't use the phone either.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's John Parker. That phone has been ringing for some time. Answer it.
I don't know how.
I love as well this classic power move because Max has Bruce sitting miles away from him. Beta cook Bruce, putting him in his place.
But the thing is, though, then Bruce he bats back. Ironic enough, he bats back because he's got like making him sit a mile away, but then Bruce kind of sitting, but leaned back and stuff, looking very suave and cool and whatnot. And he mentioned, the thing is, before that, we get, I actually do wonder about what was not the implication, what was the intention here, where he's like, everyone but the bandits will be slacking off until after New Year. And Max is like, I don't care for that inference, Bruce. And then,
I think he's inferring that Max is a criminal.
I get that, because then, because Bruce is like, oh, sorry, Max, I didn't know I made one. But I wonder, was he actually making an inference?
Yes.
And was he just doing it to try to see if he could rattle Shrek? And by Shrek responding that way, he's just like, got you. Like, I know you're a shifty guy, because anyone else would have just not reacted to that. But the fact that you did means you got something to hide and stuff.
Well, we see that Bruce is gonna reveal that he knows a lot about the plan. As in, he knows it's very suspicious. There's something odd going on. But my also thought is, like, why is Bruce having this meeting with him? Like, am I blanking? Like, why is he going to invest? Is that what he's telling him? Is that how he's secured the meeting?
Well, we've been told about this meeting earlier, because I think Selena Kyle, she went back to the office to prep for the Bruce Wayne meeting and stuff. We still don't know why. The actual reason, I guess it's because, I guess you could say it's inferred that Bruce Wayne, as Batman, has had to deal with Max Shrek in the past. He knows that he's not a good guy. And then he's just like, he's building something. As Bruce Wayne, I have to go in and talk to this guy about this and see exactly what's his angle. As Bruce Wayne will say in a couple of seconds. I will note as well that in pretty much most of the drafts of the script, there's a whole thing where Bruce walks past the busted window the Selena Kyle was pushed out of.
Yeah.
And
are you going to say what I think you're going to say? My other favorite thing that's happening in this minute.
No. What the?
Oh, the line that comes with the window.
Well, the thing is, he says something like nice ventilation or interesting ventilation or something, doesn't he?
No, there's a better one.
What is it?
In the strict revised draft, Bruce walks in, sees the broken window from Selena being pushed out, and Shrek explains it away with this. damn those carny Bolsheviks the other night, throwing bricks at my windows. I now wish to permanently be known as a carny Bolshevik. That's
Also,
my new
like,
favorite phrase.
What floor is he on?
Exactly.
You know?
That's a good question, actually.
That's a good ass
From what we
brick
saw.
thrower.
So Selena Kyle's fall was about 70 floors up or something. It's crazy.
They have a good arm on them. These carnies, these Bolsheviks. Well, we know Bolsheviks are good at, smashing the establishment. So.
Yeah, that's why, like, they're in the carnivals. I was like, oh, you want to see this guy throw? It's crazy what he can do.
It's a communist circus.
Oh my god, that would be the greatest theme for a circus. Ah.
Although that's the thing as well, though, because I had to really listen in with my headphones in this next bit of Bruce, because he says, like, I commissioned this report, and for the longest time I thought he said the commissioner's report. I was like, Commissioner Gordon wrote a report about this. I was like, Jesus, what's that going to look like? This is going to be like, oh, it's just all written in crayon. And it's just like, I really wish Batman would write this report for me. And it's all like slices of tomato that fell out of the sandwich while he was writing it and stuff.
Grocery store list.
Yeah, this Gordon is a fool. He's an idiot. I think it would be like when Charlie writes lyrics in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And it's just like kind of hieroglyphic, scribbles on Nightman. Yeah.
But then that means the fact that, like, oh, so Bruce Wayne commissioned a report, so he is a commissioner. And Bruce Wayne, guys, he's doing the commissioner's job rather than, and as Batman, he's doing his job. Well, Commissioner Gordon's doing nothing in this goddamn town.
Did
To
you
be fair, I think this.
Oh, go on.
Sorry.
Oh, well, I thought it was really impressive how he was able to, like, fling it across the room, that report, without it, like, going all, like, bleh. Like, if I had tried to throw a report, it would just, like, would start spreading out and just go all witchy way and a mess. But he managed to, like, toss that across right at right at Shrek's face.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Amazing. Like, I don't understand how, both in character and in the making of the film, like, they got it to work.
Yeah. If it's something, it turned out there was a couple of loose pages in there he forgot about, and they would just go flying all over the place.
I have done
I guess
that
I'll get them.
It's probably glued together.
I try and throw like a post-it note in the trash at work from like a foot away, and I miss.
I think that's why I actually kind of consider. I know what Bruce is doing here is that he's trying to look like, dominant and sort of like, yeah, I'm in control of the situation, and I'm cool and casual. I can throw this report across to you, but like, it just looks like a real asshole move to me. Just been like, yeah, just throwing reports around and stuff. It makes him. I don't know, it just makes him seem like a bit of a dick, basically. But I don't know if it's because I just myself have terrible hand-eye coordination. So when people throw things to me at all, I'm never going to catch it. It'll never happen. And so I always kind of resent them.
It's a dick move, but also, like, it's a response to the dick move of sitting someone so far away from you. You know, that he's got the dickiest desk there with, like, the big chasm in the middle. So it's kind of like his reaction. Yeah.
The no man's land.
No man's zone.
I like that. I like that Bruce does this though, because I think it's like I'm gonna meet your attitude with the same, like, because he knows that Max is up to something. He knows his manner. He's gonna talk to him this way. He's gonna sit him like he is. So he's like, well, I'm gonna just attack him from minute one.
Yeah, well, 100%.
I fling my papers. Oh, sorry. I fling my papers at you. Ah!
But then we do get you almost get the sense with these kind of scenes where it's like we have to do a bit of plot progression, business talk, and it's just all a bit dry and stuff. But yeah, it is all just like random back and forth business, just chatting business and stuff. And it's like Bruce coming up again. It's been brought up in the film before, like, oh, there's Gotham City has a power surplus, so basically, watch your angle. And like Shrek's deflecting everything with this like, don't build this power plant now. It'll cost more later. $1 million saved is $1 million earned. It's all this generic. It's just generic business stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good logic though. $1 million saved, $1 million earned.
Yeah, well, but it's just all stuff you can tell. Tim Burton himself is just like, all right, I guess we have to do this. Like, this is like a real probably send in the second unit guy to do this scene.
Yeah, I just want to get back to the weird, sexy lady and freaky penguin man. Come on.
Yeah, as soon as Selena shows up, then I'm back on board. But until then, no, you can handle all this stuff. I was like, don't be throwing anything cool, like getting Bruce Wayne to throw a report across a table or something. Like the second unit guy's like, you, Tim.
That is the most action you see in this scene. This is true. Flying paper.
Ooh.
Takes finesse.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that is pretty much, because I know, again, Audrey, if you're looking to get going, want to keep you too long, so that is kind of like the action for the minute, basically. Unless do you guys have anything else you want to bring up about this minute in particular, or?
I don't.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah. I do. I know, Audrey, like last time, because you're on the previous movie, that you got to talk a bit about your history with Batman as a character and whether you're the fans of the movie and stuff. But like Indra, you're new here, so do you have are you a big Batman fan, or do you have any memories of seeing this movie for the first time or anything that you'd want to?
Well, my husband does have a screen accurate Dark Knight Batman costume.
Wow. Amazing.
Which it's kind of hot.
Wow, lots of people would agree, I'm sure.
Yeah,
does he do the voice when he's wearing it? Or?
Yeah, he kind of does. Yeah,
You'd have to.
You gotta keep
I can't see. Can you help me? Help me sit down.
Help me sit down.
Oh my god, this is giving me strange visions, shall we say? It's an interesting idea. Oh no, that's amazing though. So, have you got a favorite of the movies? This is my favorite. This one.
This is your favorite Batman movie?
Yeah.
I really like the Heath Ledger Joker. I can't remember. Was that the Batman Returns? I can't remember all the names. I'm an idiot. No, Batman Begins. No, which is the one with him?
That's the Dark Knight. That the Heath Ledger
Dark Knight.
one.
Okay. So I'm sorry, but my husband has the Dark Knight one.
Aha.
Yeah, so it's just kind of that one's actually super hot. I'm an idiot about names, but
oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
If Tumblr's taught me anything, it's that then you should be dressed as the Joker. And you should make out.
Well, actually, I have a screen accurate Heath Ledger Joker costume.
Ah.
I have both of them. I have the nurse and his suit, and and I have made out with Batman.
It's a fanfic writer's dream.
And if you'd like to buy video of this, please send $1,000 to speakeasily.tv.
I'm gonna be distressed though if we do get like. Apparently, I can't get that email to work. How can I get that video you guys are promising? Like,
to be honest, it was a bit weird one Halloween where I was Beetlejuice and my partner was Lydia from Beetlejuice. Anytime like I give her a kiss or anything, I felt weird. She's like a child.
Super
but then
creepy.
I did like justify it as well. Beetlejuice is a pervy weirdo who's trying to marry her, so it's in character.
Yeah, and your girlfriend really is a child, so there's that.
Of course, yeah. I mean, there's that as well. That goes without saying, of course.
Oh.
Sorry.
Some people must think she is. She keeps getting ID'd for alcohol. She's 31.
I keep getting ID'd by the same guy, and it's like I've got visible gray hair in my beard, dude. Like, what the hell are you doing?
The fact that you have a beard pretty much should tell him.
There's my friend Dave though. Like one time he pulled the ultimate. I guess it was a boss move, but at the same time it's also a bit like where like he went in because he's very short and he does have a kind of baby face, but he had like a beanie hat on, And he went up to the counter and he didn't have an ID. But the guy's like, "Oh, so you've got any ID on you?" And he's like, "No, sorry." He's like, "I don't know if I can serve this to you then." And then he just took off the hats and just to show him his insanely receded hairline. And the guy was instantly like, "Oh, fine. Yeah, no problem."
Oh, okay.
That's my idea.
Look at this. Well, I mean, you only have to be 18 to drink where you are, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
But they've
But
got
the supermarkets,
Wow.
for some reason, have a policy of you have to look 25, though. Yeah, if you don't look 25, they'll ID you.
But there is a lot of kids drinking. That's the thing. It's almost. I could understand it if it wasn't so irritating when you just don't have ID on you.
Yeah.
So we will go and enjoy our Friday drinks, and we will let our listeners enjoy their drinks. We should head off into the dark night. Did we do the last plugs? We haven't done them, have we? Would you like to plug your great show?
Yes.
You do it because I blew it at the beginning.
Well, the audience is going to blow it if they actually listen to our show. So it's Speak Easily podcast, Speak Easily hour minute. I just blew it.
Aw, I'm
We're
sorry.
leaving it
out.
in.
That's what he said. Speak Easily hour minute podcast, and you can go to speakeasily.tv. You can see some of our comedy sketches, our comedy stylings. We have a podcast you can listen to. You can find it there. You can find it on iTunes. Go to Facebook, type in Speak Easily Show. It'll come up. Join our group. We'll talk about toilets and stuff. It's cool.
I can't think of anything better than talking about toilets. I want to do a side podcast specifically about toilets to put in that Toilets with Threatening Auras group.
Are you trying to bite our style?
Well, yes. Competition's healthy. It's fine.
You know what I wanted to do is, and I started doing it. It was like I was gonna do, as Klingon Vanna White, as on one of my side projects, do reviews of public restrooms.
Yeah.
Yes. Do it. The
how
sad thing
many
is,
bits given.
Zero shits given.
would that be a
40
good thing or a
given.
bad thing?
No. I don't know. It's our perspective.
Sadly, in England, it's getting exceptionally hard to find a public toilet.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not out there in the wild. You've got to like sneak into a bar, use their toilet, and then leave without them noticing.
Gotta buy a
Skulking.
drink, which just makes you have to go again.
Yeah. Oh, depressing.
Cycle.
But yes, go and have a fun weekend, everybody. Go to a bar. Don't just go for the toilet. Go, drink, be merry, enjoy your weekend. We will be back on Monday.
Just go to the toilet.
Go to the toilet as well. Make sure you do both. Like, don't have loads of drink and don't go to the toilet. That's very bad for your organs and whatnot. Be healthy. Everybody, be healthy. Get very drunk, but then be healthy afterwards. Have some vitamins and whatnot. And join us again on Monday when you're refreshed and ready to go, because we'll be back with more Bat Minute. And you guessed, it will be minute 46. See you then.
Okay, here we. Next time, a big win chinwag. Two non-teen titans of industry talk business in the city and nearly come to fisticuffs. But will a resurrected receptionist render them rattled and risk calling a rich wrongdoer's bluff? Find out next week. Same bat pod, different bat minute. All right, kind of rough, but I'm fine with it. One take wonder.